Oh, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is Monday. It is Thanksgiving week in San Antonio, and I'm still working, but that's okay. This is a labor of love. You're about to see why here in just a few minutes. But this is Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm, and you know by now, Gamez Law fights. But no fighting allowed at the Thanksgiving table this week, right? We're just going to promise that right now. Everyone's going to behave at the Thanksgiving table on Thursday, correct? Correct. All right, very good. We have an amazing guest today, and I figured since it's Thanksgiving week, we should kind of keep to the turkey Thanksgiving theme, and I feel like we're accomplishing that today. So we'll get to our guest momentarily, but let me thank our sponsors here because, you know, these things don't happen. The bills don't pay themselves, right? This thing runs on gasoline. I got to pay for that. So thank you to Rudy's Flooring and Remodeling in Helotes and Rudy Esquivel, who's been supporting me for a long time. Generations Federal Credit Union, to Eva and Letty and all the good people over there at Generations Federal Credit Union. Absolute Power Electrical Contractors, George and Adrian Salinas. Holidays are happening, and you need anything done electrically in your house, inside or out. Or maybe, like we said, a generator for the winter months. Apparently, it's going to be colder this winter. Something to think about. Give them a call at Absolute Power Electrical Contractors and Image Avenue Clothiers at Wonderland of the Americas Mall. The great Phil and Rosie Zavala for your formal men, women, children of all ages, tuxes, dresses, formal stuff. They can help you out. So anyway, and of course, Gamez Law. Let me put the glove over here. All right. So a few years ago, on the morning show, I ran into our guest here, and he turned me on to deep fried turkey. So let me bring in Les Thomsen right now. Les, come on in to make sure I unlock the door here. Come on and have a seat, sir. We are live on Pickup Lines. Great to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Go ahead and let's shut the door in case we decide we want to take off. I'm kidding. We're not going to take off. It's good to see you, sir.
Oh, it's good to be here.
I was reminiscing with our viewers here about the time we met, and forgive me because I probably don't remember the exact year. I feel like it's a decade ago or so, around that time. Mm-hmm. And you were a fixture on the morning show when I was there. It was always like 2 Mondays before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. You have a. What do we have here?
Hey, we're talking about deep.
Wait a minute. Do I need a towel or something? Wait, we have breaking news.
Breaking news.
Oh, let me get a towel or something here. It's probably hot. Oh my goodness gracious. I was not expecting this. Here's a towel, Les. We have a deep fried turkey in the house.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. Les.
Does that look good?
I really want to lick this turkey so I can keep it, but I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to give it back as much as it pains me. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
Is that, you need smell-o-vision.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. The tryptophan is already kicking in. Thank you so much. I love it when those things happen. Oh, seriously, that smell, that peanut oil, whatever. Oh. Now look what you've done. I'm all discombobulated.
You know, we've had some people.
Oh my gosh.
We had one lady that took it down to Laredo. Okay.
Right.
She got the turkey. She picked it up.
Yeah.
She had it sitting in the back of her car on the way to Laredo. They stopped, started eating.
Start picking.
It didn't make it.
I thought you were going to tell me that it was still hot when they got to Laredo, because I've picked them up before and driven to Pleasanton a couple of times, which is about an hour away, 45 minutes, and it's still scalding hot by the time you get there. But reminiscing about, so I should introduce you formally. So Les Thomsen, you're the CEO, the founder, the executive director of Noah's Farm, which is on your shirt right there.
Yep.
And we'll talk about Noah's Farm in just a minute. But we're over here on the north side at the El Safar Shrine Auditorium parking lot. And I was saying about 10 or 12 years ago, we came across each other, and you were a fixture on the morning show where you would come on with what was described at the time as the world's largest turkey deep fryer.
Right, the world's largest portable deep fryer.
Right, is that still the case?
Oh, absolutely.
And if you were to look, like if this was an invisible car and you could look directly behind us, you would see, did I count 5 or 6 of those now that you have?
We got 5 of them, yep.
And each one holds 16?
16 turkeys. So we cook 16 turkeys at a time.
And as you just saw, they're not teeny tiny birds either. They're...
Yeah, they average 13 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they are. That aroma is still
I know,
there.
it's still in the car. I love it. So you start to do the math and you realize, all right, 16 times 5. It's Monday, obviously. You're already cooking today. There's a reason for that because the demand, you're now in your, what, 14th or 15th year?
It's our 15th year.
The demand for these things, I guess we should start by explaining what you do, how this all happened, and how people can help you out.
Yeah. Personally, I started deep frying turkeys about 32 years ago. A friend of mine from Louisiana came up. I lived in St. Louis at the time, and we got to talking, and he said, "You ever heard of deep fried turkeys?" Well, 32 years ago, outside of Louisiana, right. Nobody had heard of deep fried.
I had not.
So anyway, he said, "Well, we got an old family recipe," and he shared it with me. We inject turkeys and we season them, and we put olive oil on them, and it's a special way we do it.
Yeah.
And we marinate them for a couple of days. Well, anyway, he shared with me how to do it, and then about 16 years ago, my wife and I started Noah's Farm. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And we thought, you know what? We take this little hobby of deep frying turkeys,
right, and
we put it into turn it into a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. And the first year we did like 75 turkeys or something like that, just to people in the neighborhood. And then it just grew and grew and grew. And a lot of it had to do with being on your early morning show.
We loved it.
People saw it, and they say, "I want one of them turkeys." And just like you saw a few minutes ago, people saw that on TV, and the phone started ringing.
You saw my reaction when the turkey came in, because the reality is, before I had met you, I had never tried. Now, to this day, I do not trust myself deep frying a turkey, because I'll end up on the news. You'll see all the videos of the oil and the fire and everything. So I don't plan to deep fry one myself anytime soon. But you're the one who introduced me to it, and I gotta say, I don't, with no offense to my in-laws or anybody else, I don't know that I'll ever go back to the traditional turkey. And I don't expect you to share your recipe, but in your mind, what makes the deep fried turkey better than any other way to go?
Well, one, the seasoning has a lot to do with it, and the injection has a lot to do with it. And so we season outside and inject it. And then we let it marinate for 2 days, okay? And so it's a different flavor. Now, we call these deep fried turkeys. I do not call them Cajun deep fried turkeys. Okay. There are places who sell Cajun deep fried turkeys, and they're a much more spicy turkey, whereas ours are designed to go with a Thanksgiving meal.
Right.
They're not like a hot wing or anything like that. They're just a Thanksgiving meal. So a 2-year-old child loves them, and my 101-year-old mother loves it. It's made for everybody. Okay.
Your mom was 101?
And yeah, she was. We just lost her.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Not too long ago.
Okay. God bless her.
But she loved it, and that's the whole thing. It's everybody loves the flavor of it, and they're juicy, and of course, cooked in peanut oil. Oh. Yeah. That's, there's a few restaurants that promote themselves because they cook their fries in peanut oil.
Right.
Okay. Well, these are cooked in 100% peanut oil. It's very expensive, but it's
worth every penny.
Yeah.
So let's go through some of these statistics. We talked about the 5 fryers, 16 turkeys a piece.
Yep.
So here we are in 2023 now. You're obviously, like we said, you're cooking on a Monday, which means you've timed it out because you're going to be cooking every day this week through Thursday.
Right.
How many turkeys, how much oil? Give me the rundown on the numbers.
Okay. So this year we're going to cook, between now and Thanksgiving Day, we're going to cook a little over 1,100 turkeys.
What? And that's not around, that's not around the clock, right? Or
no.
But it's,
on Thanksgiving Day itself, we're going to cook a little over 700 on Thanksgiving Day. And what we do is, people go online because they know we start taking orders, and you can only get them online.
Yes.
So they go to noahsfarm.org on November the 1st.
Right.
That's when we turn on the order system.
Right.
Okay. So November 1st, people go on there and they pick their day they want it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thanksgiving. And then you pick your time that you want it. So let's say if you want a primo time, 11 o'clock Thanksgiving Day, then you need to start your order on November the 1st.
Those go fast.
They go fast. Well, anyway, we, like on Thanksgiving Day, for example, every 12 minutes, we have a batch of 16 turkeys come out of the cookers. So it's just so every 12 minutes, starting from like 7:20 in the morning to like 3:50 in the afternoon, every 12 minutes, 16 customers pull up to the door here, to our tent, and pick up their order.
Right.
All day long. Now, like today, for example, here's Monday. It's what we call a slow day, because we're only cooking like 65 turkeys today.
Okay.
But of those 65, 50 of them, and this is cool, are going to the wounded warriors and disabled veterans. In fact, just a few minutes ago,
I just saw.
Yeah, some of the servicemen from the base over at Fort Sam, they're coming, and they will be picking up 50 turkeys.
They literally, as we speak, I don't know if you can see it, but over you probably can't see it. We'll get video or something. Over your shoulder, there's a minivan, and you're right, a uniformed officer just walked by the car, and as we speak, they're loading the turkeys in there, which I think is so cool, because you've asked people to sponsor these turkeys, and I believe all of them have been sponsored, correct?
Yep, we're very blessed. People go online, just like when you go online to order a turkey, there's a spot when you go online to sponsor a turkey for a wounded warrior or disabled veteran.
Now, did you serve in the military?
I did not. My dad did.
Right.
But I did not.
I was just wondering, like, where did that inspiration come? That because this is already a huge operation, but you're like, you know what, I want to do this also for wounded warriors.
Yeah, actually, that's a cool story. Thanks for asking. Okay. Right after we started this turkey project 15 years ago, one of our customers came and he ordered, I think it was 15 turkeys. And it was just a businessman here in town. And I go, wow, you're cooking these for your business? He goes, no, I'm taking them over to Fort Sam. And at the time, it was called the Warrior and Family Support Center.
Right.
Okay. It's now run by the USO on base at Fort Sam. Well, anyway, I said, wow, that is neat of you to do. So he actually bought turkeys and took them over there. The next year he came back and did the same. And I said, wow, that is super neat of you. He said, Les, you need to go with me over there and see these wounded warriors who many of them are there for 2 years doing all their surgeries and stuff like that. Okay. So I went with him over there and saw him give out these turkeys to the wounded warriors there on the base. And I mean, it touched my heart.
Yeah.
And I asked the director, I said, hey, how many turkeys do you really need? He's bringing you 15. I've got the equipment, you know. So we discussed it and said, well, 200 would be a nice number.
Wow.
So I said, I'm going to get people to sponsor 200 turkeys. I'll cook them, and we'll get them over to Fort Sam. Well, that's how it got started. A neat part of that is I asked the director, I said, you know, what about like sides and desserts to go with these turkeys? And they said, absolutely not. The caregivers, like it could be a mother, it could be a girlfriend, it could be a wife, whatever. Right. The caregivers need to feel that they're taking care of their son, daughter, whoever.
They're contributing or whatever.
They're contributing. Yeah. And so often it'll be, you know, you got a wounded warrior there, and he'll say, Mom, do you remember that cobbler that you made when I was a kid? You know, that kind of thing. So then the mom does that special side or dessert. Okay. We provide the turkey. Yeah. Okay. Plus, a lot of them don't have ovens that can cook a turkey.
Accommodate,
accommodate, yeah. So it's the ultimate win-win deal.
I love it. We have some people watching. Andy Amaro is watching us from Montrose, Arkansas this morning. Cool. And then Gina Betancourt, who was on there a minute ago, said that she's never tried deep fried turkey, but she's always wanted to. So if you have any comments or questions for Les, this is Les Thomsen, the CEO, executive director, the founder of Noah's Farm. And I was reading, because you think of farm, right? You think of pigs and chickens and feed and a barn, hay, whatever. But farm for you, if people pay really close attention, they'll see the colors of Africa and the continent on your shirt. Yeah. So farm is an acronym, isn't it?
That's exactly right. So the word farm, like I said, is an acronym. F stands for feeding the hungry. A stands for advocating, and so feeding the hungry in Zimbabwe, Africa. We do water wells. Okay, and so part of the proceeds from this project go to Zimbabwe, Africa, and we're now at like 16 or 17 wells that we've been able to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with this fundraiser.
Right.
So F stands for feeding the hungry. A stands for advocating for education. So we actually provide scholarship money, not sponsor, but scholarship money for some students over there. We got 2 students in Zimbabwe that are in medical school studying to be doctors. And
Unreal.
So that is way cool.
Super cool.
And then R stands for reaching the lost. We built some churches over there. And then M stands for we do some medical work, but we also mentor livelihoods. So we help teach people how to operate a business. So we're mentoring them so they become self-sustaining. So that's what the word farm really stands for.
And your connection to Zimbabwe, is there a personal connection, or why Zimbabwe?
Okay. First of all, as a teenager, I was blessed that my dad worked for the government, USAID.
USA.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
And so when I was a teenager, we lived in Uganda and in Kenya.
Okay.
So I was over there for a couple of years as a teenager. So Africa is near and dear to my heart. But then 16 years ago, a mutual friend introduced me to a local pastor in Zimbabwe, and we just hooked up. And I was so impressed with his emphasis was on the teens and the children in his church to learn their way out of poverty. So he was all about education. So we started that scholarship program, and it grew and grew and grew. And now we are actually in the process of building a high school.
Unreal.
Is that cool?
That is super cool. Well, that's amazing. All in large part to these turkeys here. So Gina has a question. I think I know the answer to this question, but she's saying, can she bring her turkey to you here to cook?
Thanks for the question, but no.
Yeah.
We have a food permit, and we have certain requirements. Basically, I have to have my eyes on from the source to the cooking, and so I'm not allowed to cook anybody else's turkey.
Yeah, because listen, I would have brought 5 turkeys myself today if that were the case.
Yeah.
But thank you, Gina, for the question. So I was walking up here earlier, and I just, my first thought was this seems like a bigger operation than last year. You still have more room to grow in the coming years?
Yes. It's from day one, like when we first started, we did like 35 and then like 75 turkeys.
Right.
And each year we've added about 100 turkeys a year. And it's the typical business thing. You have to have the customer base, and of course we've sold out every year. So
Do you have any spots left right now?
No, we are sold out. Yeah. In fact, actually, we sold out in 9 days.
That's crazy.
Is that? Yeah. So anyway, so we obviously have the demand for the product, and then it's the equipment. We marinate these turkeys, and it takes a huge refrigeration thing.
Yeah.
Because my refrigerator in my house ain't gonna hold
1,100 turkeys.
And so we were very blessed that a company here in town loans us a trailer, refrigerated trailer for this purpose. And otherwise we couldn't do it. And then we have all of this equipment that we have to store someplace throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so we have to have trailers for that. And I'm blessed that a friend of mine lets me store all this equipment at his place outside of New Braunfels. But then also you got to have volunteers.
Right.
And because at Noah's Farm, there is no paid, everything is volunteer.
Yeah.
That way, 100% of the proceeds go to to Zimbabwe, to the building a high school or digging a water well.
I mean, I see at least 2 RVs here. So is it safe to say there will be people living here all week long?
Yes. Yep. Now that's neat. There's an RV just over here to our right. That gentleman For the last, jeepers, 8, 10 years, he's come down from St. Louis,
Wow.
spends the week here, and he manages 3 of the burners to keep all the flames going. He manages that, spends the week here. There's another RV behind us. Okay, they live down in the valley. He's my head cook, so he takes care of all the times and the temperatures and stuff like that. And he and his wife come up and spend the week from down in McAllen. And then we have another couple that drove all the way from Colorado. They heard about us and said, hey, we want to do something meaningful for Thanksgiving. So they spend the week, but primarily Thanksgiving Day, if somebody wants to do something meaningful, memorable, we always need help on Thanksgiving Day. But we do ask people to go to our website, noahsfarm.org, and sign up to volunteer. And cool thing, at the end of the day on Thanksgiving, about 5 o'clock, those turkeys like you saw just a little bit ago, we take the last 6 and we carve them up. So if you volunteer on Thanksgiving Day, it's chow time.
Well, I know like my kids need service hours, for whatever at school. That's a great opportunity. A lot of kids are looking at this time of year for ways, and it's a great way to do something, like you said, meaningful on Thanksgiving. We saw your daughter a little while ago. So this truly is a family affair. So you mentioned that we have a few more minutes with Les here, because I know you got to go back to work. But you do, October, November, these are obviously your busiest months. So the other 9-10 months of the year, what do you do with your time?
Yes, I'm very blessed. I work at a CPA firm, John Buxey CPA, and I'm actually an EA, which stands for an enrolled agent. And my particular job is people that get in trouble with the IRS. They come and see us, and I spend a lot of time representing people to the IRS to get them a new lease on life. So you do good work all year long. Well, I'm blessed.
Well, that's awesome. What random thing, and I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, because I was just looking back. I wonder how many rolls of aluminum foil do you go through? Because there's so much aluminum foil here. And I know you use a lot to pack each turkey because it's so hot. Even when I drive an hour away, it's still hot. I'm just curious. Do you even know?
I don't know. But what we do is we take those turkeys, and you saw, if you were able to see it earlier, that the turkey is in what we call a half steamer pan. A throwaway half steamer
aluminum
pan.
A tin pan,
And then we take that and we double wrap it with heavy aluminum foil. And it's double wrapped, so tight. So that turkey will stay hot for a long time.
He will.
We have a guy that picks up turkeys early on Thanksgiving morning. The first batch I think comes out at like 7:20. He picks up a turkey and drives to Dallas. Is that wild?
And it's still hot when he gets there.
And there's
I'm not surprised.
A couple of little tricks that we do to help keep it hot that length of time, and that's neat.
Well, I love all of this, and we have a couple more minutes here with Les Thomsen. Anything else? I know, it's unfortunately the turkeys are spoken for this year, but something to think about for next year, for 2024. Again, I guess it's right after Halloween. Look for the website to go live on November 1st, and that's when you... John Alonzo. He always has great questions, and John Alonzo is a friend of mine. He's asking you, Les, what is your favorite part of the turkey?
The thigh. I like dark meat. Now, to make sandwiches, though, I do like the breast. I tell you, we actually have a lot of people who get our turkeys. They'll have one for Thanksgiving, and then it's gone. And then they get a second one, so they will have some leftovers. They put it in small bags and freeze it, and so they can have it over several weeks. Because the one thing about our turkey, I'm not bragging.
Brag away, Les. Brag away.
It's the marinating that keeps that flavor.
Yeah.
So you put this turkey in a bag, put it in a freezer.
Yes.
A week, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
you take it out and you thaw it a little bit, and then you make your sandwich. And that flavor, it's not a bland piece of turkey.
No,
meat.
no way.
Oh, it's
And the skin.
Oh, Lordy. I gotta tell you.
Can we get that turkey back?
Yeah, we should have been.
It's your daughter over here.
Yeah.
I told you I should have licked it so we could keep it.
Yeah, we should have been eating that thing. And I actually had a guy contact me, and he put a note when he ordered it.
Yeah.
There's a place you can put comments if you want to.
Okay.
So he put it down in there, a comment. He said, Les, he said, I get your turkeys, and I like to get them on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
He said, then while I'm making the desserts and some sides
Right.
and getting ready for Thanksgiving Day,
Right.
he says, my mother-in-law brings a turkey for Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
And he says, I don't want her to know this, but I get one of your turkeys on Wednesday, and while I'm doing making the cobbler and all of this
Right.
stuff, he says, I'm nibbling away on your turkey. He said, that skin, And anyway, he eats that, and then of course his mother-in-law comes in the next day, and she's not the wiser.
She does. Hey, no disrespect to the mamas and the mother-in-laws out there, but I'm not going to lie. I mean, and my mother-in-law knows this because I'm taking your turkeys to her place. Like, she knows how delicious it is. So, listen, I know you got to get back to work. This is like your Super Bowl week. Like, this is nonstop Monday, Tuesday, all the way through Thanksgiving Day. And I just cannot imagine. Obviously, I'm not at the TV station now, but I had to have this conversation because I just cannot imagine my Thanksgiving season happening without visiting you and checking in on what's happening. So if people want more information to help out Noah's Farm, or just learn more about that acronym, what he does in Zimbabwe with all of the different components of farm, what that means, just go online to noahsfarm.org and or find somebody who ordered a turkey and become their best friend in the next 3 days.
That happens a lot. People will get our turkey, invite their relatives or friends over for Thanksgiving, and then it's like, wow, where'd you get this? Well, then we've created another customer for the next year, and it's just going. One other thing, talking about Zimbabwe, if somebody is ever interested in going on a mission trip to Zimbabwe, send me an email, Les, L-E-S, at noahsfarm.org.
Okay.
We go to Zimbabwe every year for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
In August. Why do we choose August? Because the weather's perfect. And I get to choose when we go, and I choose perfect. Okay? Because
it's not summer. Is it not summer in August in Zimbabwe?
It's spring. It's. But if you would like to go on a very rewarding mission trip, contact me, and we'd love to have you come along.
I love it. My sister used to live in Rwanda and spoke very highly of she would send pictures and videos, and we would just see how beautiful it is and everything over there. So it's great to know that these turkeys, as great as they are being used to help, do better things in other parts of the world. So Les,
thank you, Ernie.
Always enjoy the visit, sir.
Awesome.
All right, noahsfarm.org. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I think we've got one more show to do before Thursday, but until then, Ernie Zuniga, and this has been another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.